So the minions of the corporate partners and the groups they support have been really trying to harass me about the idea of all. Dio or Tao and Pan, right? Ironically, all is why they are wrong, not why they are right. Where was everyone when I was making my magnificent push in truth? They were too busy walking around the fence and not going through the gate to the city of honor and righteousness, so to speak. All my life, ironically, the word all, I have insisted on the truth. And I did not favor one group or another. I insisted on the truth and I favored righteousness. And if one group happened to embody righteousness, then where they were doing right, I favored them. I have never had an Igbo girlfriend, for example, in my entire life. I don't favor any group, and they don't favor me. In a society where we consider the most normal people the people that we insult the most, if you think about it, by works and not by stated philosophy, that is the shrinks, right? They are the people who drug people based on what is socially normative. So who's going to be considered more normal than the people who decide what is normal? But yet we have a very low opinion of them commonly. And we think what they're doing, generally speaking, is unfair. It is unjust. It is wrong. It is based on fabricated evidence. It is highly political. There are countless lawsuits against the pharmaceutical companies whose drugs they prescribe. And over 500,000 people in Western countries alone die from psychiatric meds. You know, a lot of them old people slipping and hitting their heads because they're thrown off balance. And of course, they want to throw us off balance to make us suggestible, susceptible, and vulnerable to all the underhanded things that they have planned for us and that they are doing. If you don't understand this, you may as well stop watching because you're an idiot. If you're willing to play stupid and, you know, send your kids to go play with pedophiles and the children who are commonly handed over to pedophiles without contesting this process, you know, it goes without saying it is unwise. If you see yourself as wise because you know something, but then you don't oppose the state, you're not wise. You know, you're perhaps the biggest fool of all. The biggest fool of all knows better and insists everyone does worse and also does worse themselves. Okay, moving on. Everyone in the world is mentally ill, according to their standard, if you really break it down for what it is. It's human imperfections. And when you live in an evil society, we're all affected by it in a way that messes with our heads. So because evil reigns, the cunning and principle, because the cunning and the principle of evil reigns supreme, we are all suffering mentally. Psychiatric medications aren't the answer. They are part of the problem. Chemicals in general. Okay, so the most crazy are considered normal. Shrinks are the biggest offenders since they uphold social norms with forced toxic drugging. Basically, in other words, it's a world that has been designed for crazy people with an emphasis on immorality. This creates three types of people. The craziest that are well adjusted and find their flow in this sick system. People born with a different kind of crazy, which is almost certainly a result of them being less crazy. And which almost certainly results in them being less crazy. And people who live in reality that are tortured by everyone else. The first group is capable of living in reality. They choose to do wrong and think it is in their best interest. So when you look at it, it is so stupid for them to go along with it that they're crazy in more than one way. They're mentally ill in more than one way, right? They're kept from reality. In reality, it is insane to go along with this. It's not just dishonorable. It's not just something that takes your soul according to almost every major religion and certainly every logical spiritual person. But it is harmful to your health. This is not really living. And we can go on and on and on, but I'm on the schedule here. So let's talk about the warden, right? A war den, a prison. Okay, the psychology of the new fish versus the John Cotty attitude. right? So if you go into prison scared of what might happen to you, and people are emphasizing that, emphasizing things in a way that makes you feel that way, you're easier to control. And so when we look at this thing, people say, why are things exposed? Because there's an internal struggle in the New World Order as well. It's the old, this guy messed up and we had to clean up his mess. We need a new leader. You know, someone else should take that person's position. Okay. So when we look up Elohim, it's the sons of El. They democratize Pharaoh's power. Lucifer is actually called High-Lel, and Lucifer comes from the King James Version of the Bible, according to one source. So High-El, all El, just like hell, all, right? That argument of all, you know, instead of God is in charge, ye shall be like gods, all, right? All that remain is another way to look at it. Elion is considered the Canaanite creator. And this Canaanite religion is said to start from at least the early Bronze Age onwards, so we have a likely starting point at this point in the Bronze Age, which is a different form of warfare. This came from an unnatural age where warfare was changing, and the religion of those who were willing to leverage alchemy and metallurgy and whatever allowed them to create Bronze Age weapons, you know, to gain power and to redefine the ideal people, or the people, you know, this unnatural scum. You know, the Bible talks about unnatural, and I've gone over that over and over again. So the difference between Elion and Elijah, right? Yah, La, the moon god, Jah, all right, which has to do with gender neutrality. Okay, so if you look at Haru, one of his eyes was the moon. In the earlier mythology that they have recorded, one was the sun. And so there's reasons why, you know, Osiris can be, you know, seen as the moon, the prince of darkness. There's a lot of things that go into it. I really don't care at this point. You know, the bottom line is I'm right. My videos aren't about why I'm right. I've proven that a million times over. They've become about why everyone is wrong and is going out like a bitch, okay, in a way that nobody can deny. This has been described as facts on facts. I come with facts on facts on facts on facts, and just one video proves my point a million times over. Okay. So Lucifer, right? Albert Pike talks about the morning star and Luciferian energies. Okay. You look at the depiction of Lucifer. It is a light shining through the clouds, right? To cloud your judgment, to block light, to see things in a new light. You know, it makes you feel depressed, right? Downtrodden, sad, hopeless, empty inside. This is what psych meds do. This is why, part of why they put them in the psych ward, and they're supposed to let them go out and see this, you know, get in the sun. But what is an hour or so going to do for you in the sun? Not much. You're going to feel downtrodden, saddened, and so on, and have just enough sunlight to kind of keep you in the system, which is about controlling the light in general. You know, Luciferianism, you know, illusion, you know, kind of white lights, kind of magicians with lights and so on, smoke and mirrors and what have you. The old, okay, I covered that already. Okay, so devil, do the wordplay. De, vi, el, right? They're vying with the day because they're mentally ill. Livid, love add, live odd, love odd, do vile. God, okay? The bad spell that I can't for the life of me think of a way that it would be good is dog, the dog star, to be a dog, you know, the black dog, the jackal set. Okay, so day, right? The G is silent backwards, replace the O with an A. Die, the death of the flesh, the to do or do not, right? The works, the application, right? Not the knowledge, but the application in truth, okay? Add, right? Combine things, combination, comb in nation, add things, put it together, right? Dig, indignation. This also has implications on martial arts, where it says the combination of skills versus just strength or toughness, but the combination of skills that allows you to make light contact and so on. Sparring, spirit, spart. All right, jackal, right? Jaw kill, Jew kill, look, see, age. Okay. Hawk, backwards is qua or ku, right? Chu ku. Okay, shu ku. You know, shu hawk, the atmosphere of the hawk. Ka with the W, or ku, ki. Okay, ka, ku, ki, military coup, coup d'etat. All right, falcon, full, con, no cliff, also to know the cliff. Fool, can, fool, con, and fail, kin. I'm sure you can put together the different applications of that word yourself. If you look at the wordplay, right, it relies on one being able to apply the kind of blueprint for how to decipher the words, and then to apply another application. It's application upon application to then understand what they're getting at. For example, full con, right? It is to con someone to the fullest. How does that play out? You know, the used car salesman to con a woman out of her pussy while she thinks she's empowered and she's a dumb bitch and brings another dumb bitch into the world, and so on. So let's look at two words, homage and heritage, right? Wordplay, the T is the plus, okay? Haru, age. Ari, age. Homage, home age. Or O age. The O is the sun reproductive cycle. So Ari started using herbs, medicine to help Ethiopians breed the ideal martial artist. You know, again, artist itself, Aries, right? Martial artist, to order things around as an art. No, to order things in the spirit of Ari or Haru, the true great martial artist, if you will. Versus the art of illusion, and art is illusion. And they found it exactly where you would expect, in Biafra, where Tyson, Jordan, Ali, you know, countless athletes, etc., almost certainly are descendants of. So when you see, you know, America as the new Egypt, you know, if you were a martial artist in Egypt and you said, I'm trying to breed the ideal martial artist, you would look to Biafra, because that is the root. That is the place where all these great athletes are from. It's a no-brainer. So it was the same thing in the Temple of Haru, which caused the problem in the first place. They didn't want people to look up to a certain kind of Nigerian who had a certain combination of skills, mind, body, soul, and spirit, that made him a master martial artist. So when you see this kind of physical prowess in my pictures and so on, and you know, my dad was a brain surgeon. His brother is a doctor too, and his other brother was a valedictorian at his college and graduated, you know, UC Berkeley Law School. Of course, so this shows you the genes, right? It's a no-brainer when all three of the brothers of his generation, you know, were all, you know, very successful in a culture that was not their own, right? Obstacles, okay, considered. You know, it doesn't take a genius. And we say, well, is it fair for me to point this out? Well, the president points it out. You don't see Republicans crying about it. You don't really even see liberals crying about it, because most of the country is white, and liberals are eugenicists for the, you know, at least controlled by them for the most part. Anyway, right? So Trump, good genes, liberal, progressive eugenicists, you know, Margaret Sanger and so on. You know, save the earth, abortion, LGBT community, etc. So when Amun-Ra fell in Egypt, it was 663 BC. Osirianism rose, and the Assyrians are what caused the fall when they came in. Okay, it's also logical to assume the Assyrians and their allies caused the fall of Babylon, and the Bible said it became the dwelling place of unclean and detestable birds and haunts and spirits and so on.